Let's play. What's guys? Welcome Mars here with episode, good lord, 38 of our Minecraft Let's Play series. This series has come a long way, I'm just sort of realizing. This was started in August. It's now the beginning of November. Actually, it's really, really cold outside. It's like 40 degrees outside, so it's an interesting way to start off winter, even though it's not even winter yet. But today is November 2nd, and yesterday marked the end of my marching band season. And that's really tough for me because I really enjoyed it, honestly. Um, and I know I'm gonna get serious flack for this from a lot of people, but it's probably one of the more rewarding things I've ever done in high school because from marching band, everything else sort of came. Um, the first person who told me to do it was actually my middle school band director. And, he had said to me and then to another few of the good people in the middle school band at that time, he was saying, "Oh, hey, there's this thing that's amazing called marching band, which is essentially literally a marching band." When I first joined it, it's kind of funny. Because we had gone to visit the band at some point earlier. So when I first was like, "Yeah, this is a thing I should do," my initial thought was that it was just stand stuff. And if you don't know what that means, I'll explain it. For every football game, we sit in the stands and we just play different what are called stands tunes. Okay? That's all I thought it was at first. Little did I know it was so much more. I mean, I say that in all seriousness. Um, I still remember the very first day of marching band freshman year. This is gonna be a marching band themed episode. This is the day after it all comes to an end, competition wise. So, just a heads up. And I know, but I remember the very first day of marching band my freshman year. There were two girls sitting outside the band room. They were doing attendance. Those were the seniors of that year. One played bass clarinet, the other I think played clarinet. And they were listening to "Tonight Tonight" by Hot Chili, where they had like a little radio next to them, so you could tell immediately that it wasn't exactly a massively formal thing. And that's sort of the theme of marching band. It's like it's not meant to be this massively intimidating thing. It's meant to be a really truly enjoyable time, and definitely was for me. Anyway, um, I walked in and I knew nobody. Um, there was I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about all these people though. Hmm. Because I usually try and get permission from people before mentioning them on the internet, simply because I would wish that someone would do the same for me. Um, I guess I could try to use nicknames and whatnot. Okay, so one of the first people I had known was the drum major of that year, that drum major senior of that year, because she had actually called all the freshmen and just sort of give them a little introduction, so they would know someone on the first day, I guess. Like I still do that, and I don't know, it's just really cool to get that. But also, during the very first day, they introduced us to the basics of marching band, as they now do every year for all the other freshmen. And it is tough at the beginning. Like if you're not physically fit for it, which I wasn't, then it's interesting. It's definitely a kind of a little bit of a tough time, but not in a bad way. See, I don't want to say it's a tough time because that implies a bad way. It's a learning curve, and you sort of have to adapt to said learning curve. It was on the blacktop on the bus a lot, and we just learned forward marching and backwards marching. I think that was all we did the first day. I don't even think we touched slides on the first day. There was one kid who fell backwards. Not going to mention his name. He knows who he is. I reminded him last night. I was basically illustrating how far he had come. He's probably one of the most popular people in marching band by now. Um, for good reason. He definitely picks up the pep of everybody. When we're all feeling down in the dumps, he immediately comes over and just makes everyone feel amazing. Um, so that's always good that he's there for that. Um, it's hard to imagine him being upset about something as well. Like if you make him pissed off about something, you know that you did something wrong. Anyway, sorry, that was one of the freshmen of my year, so now seniors alongside me. Anyway, this can be a big rambling video. There was my section leader, who was a junior at the time. That junior year of my freshman year was probably the best class that my school has never seen. Honestly, it was just it was awesome. There's just no other way to put that. Um, because they really loved everything they did and they cared about everybody, or at least they seemed to. Some people were bullies, but also some people were really, really awesome about things. I mean, I remember several traditions that we still held when they were here. I remember one of the very first ones was that first day of lunch. I went and there's like a little alcove that we can sit in, where there's a door that goes to I think one of the stage parts or like dressing rooms at the stage. That's where we would sit and eat lunch every day. We talk about movies, we talk about video games, talk about whatever came up. And during that first year, I was really quiet. I was just sort of trying to learn everything. High school was a crazy place for me. It hadn't even started yet. That was the best thing ever. It hadn't even started. This was band camp before the school year started. Um, but yeah, no, just that senior and junior year of my freshman year, those classes were just really awesome. We're just really awesome people. I mean, they still come back every once in a while, but it's just not nearly as um, regularly as it used to be. It's not. It is a little bit depressing. Um, I know I'll be coming back. People are already telling me that they want me to come back and visit, and be like, hey, what's up? How's it going? Um, that's cool. I'll definitely do that because I basically owe my social life now to marching band, which some people think is not a good social life, but I like it. Let's see here. I don't remember a lot of the competitions from last year's, like how I felt while I was there, but I do remember the final one. My band beat in my freshman year. The show was called. I don't want to say the name because that singles out my school. Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. But we won third. Well, that singles out the school as well. Dang it! All right. So we won third that year, and that was the last year that we had our band director. Um, basically the legendary band director, as I like to refer to him as. The band director the next year wasn't as good. A lot of people hate him now that are over here. I think one of the freshmen, I think this year, last year, actually messaged the old band director on Facebook. Not the good one, but the bad one. So then during my sophomore year, the band director we had at that point, we got another one my junior year, which was last year, and then the same one this year. So last year, this year, someone actually messaged the old band director on Facebook or something and was like, "Hey, how do you feel? We got so much farther without you." And he was just basically insulting him. It was really, really weird. um, I can't exactly remember who did it. I don't want to remember who did it, but that was the thing that happened. I am like legitimately rambling now, I think. But whatever. I mean, at this point, I just want to talk about marching band. Like I'm still building the stone house, and you guys can see that. What do I have in plans for it? No idea. I think I'm gonna actually try something in a second. Um, what I was thinking of doing is connecting these and sort of making like a little archway, and then connecting that inwards to these corners, and then having like a little nice little roof, or like a. I could also put like a pyramid or something. Yeah, just a roof, so I can continue building up because there are a lot more floors I could put on this. How do you guys think this little settlement is coming along anyway? I guess you could say my building style is very interesting, to say the least. Still haven't done anything with that island over there. That was interesting. But yeah, no, no, no. I am rambling a little bit, Marching Man. If that's bugging you, I apologize. But again, it's just such a big part of my life and what I did in high school, and I know I wouldn't have nearly had the same experiences if I didn't do it. Honestly and legitimately, I would not have even close to the same experiences. So I think it's during my sophomore year I met some cool people. The year below me is full of cool people. Um, One of them actually left the band to join like the arts, like theater and whatnot. So that was an interesting decision. He pretends like he doesn't know me anymore, but that's fine. We played Xbox a little bit together, and there's just so much I could talk about. I remember during my freshman year, we had a pool party, and I think I mentioned this already. Um, and we just never done something like that since. Um, we never done something like that since. I think I just repeated myself, and that's always really unfortunate, honestly, because it was really rewarding to have that, and to sort of have that camaraderie and that companionship throughout. Oh my God, this can take forever. I think you can tell where this is going already, as far as building style. Dang it. But yeah, no. If high school is one of the more crazier times of your life, but then college is just even more crazier, as some people say. And then you hit real life, and believe me, that's gonna hit you like a smack in the face. Of course, many high school students have already had a taste of real life, whether it's from divorced parents or losing a parent. That's definitely a situation that I have had the benefit of not having to experience yet. Um, I'm always really glad that my parents are always really supportive people, because not a lot of parents are anymore. I talk to a lot of people about their parents a lot, and they usually have a lot of complaints. How their parents don't want them doing this, or their parents are really restrictive, or the parents are really controlling, et cetera, et cetera. I sort of get why, but at the same time, I don't get why. Because you're not allowing, like, on one hand, you're not allowing your kid to live, but on the other hand, you're protecting them. So it's definitely a tough thing to call. Um, it's definitely a difficult thing to say, oh, it should be like this, it should never be the other way. Can't really say that. I'm just hearing some disturbance. But yeah, no, it's hard to say you should raise your kids like this and not like this. It's easy for me to say, but then they'll come back and say, oh, you don't know the struggles of raising a kid. And it's like, yeah, on one hand, it's a struggle, but at the same time, it's like you also create a lot of work for yourself by restricting your kids. Um, I mean, a lot of parents these days are giving up on each other, for example, and putting their kids through a split lifestyle. And, while I am basically going to live under the policy that divorce is not an option, it's easier said than done. A lot of people marry for money because they had a kid, etc. And some people are happy together and not married. I mean, I think I mentioned this in a video already, but literally the definition of a marriage is we're getting the government involved because you never want that person to leave. I don't want to always think of it like that, but it there is some truth to that statement as much as you don't want to look at it that way. If you don't want to look at it that way, perfectly fine. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm right in everything. I'm definitely not trying to suggest that. Because if I was trying to suggest that, it'd be a really bad suggestion to make because it's obviously not true. You know? It's obvious that I don't know everything. It's obvious that I don't understand everything. Do I try to understand everything? Yes. Do I try to understand how people work and how their minds work and what makes them the way they are? Yeah. I try to do that quite often. And people always find that creepy. That, I'm trying to understand how they work, and it's more out of respect for them. Because I don't want to say something or do something that would piss them off. I don't want to cause anybody any more stress than I have to. So I'd like to know how they work so then I don't become a source of stress for them. I mean, it's all about the other person, and people always say that that's going to really screw me over. Probably. I definitely believe that. Um, People are going to want to take advantage of, me trying to help them out. Some people already have. But I don't think it's going to change how I do things, people taking advantage of it. I'm still going to have to do them simply because it's just kind of how I am. Um, and I just hope that at some point, um, people realize that I'm not the way that everyone portrays me to be. Because that's also another thing is rumors, but I don't want to get off the topic of marching band. I really don't. Um, I've met a lot of awesome people through marching band. The people I just mentioned, but also Coda's a marching band, so that's an obvious one. Cat's a marching band, obviously. The tall German friend that I have is in marching band. Just like all these different people that I know are in marching band. And again, it's really rewarding to be able to work with all like that and to get to know them on a personal basis. Um, just is awesome because they're like 14 or something, but they don't have the same level of maturity that I have in certain cases. So it's interesting to sort of relive being young again by hanging out around these people. 'Cause that's what happens. Thanks to mirror neurons, when you start hanging around people, you subconsciously start acting and behaving like that person if you're around them for long enough. Welcome to the human brain all over again. I think I talked about mirror neurons before. If you want to be a gangbanger, hang around gangbangers. That's just the example I'm going to use. That's just the first one that popped in my head because I thought of Grand Theft Auto. Again, marching man. Hard to stay focused. Um, that's another thing. I do want to make like I think I might have mentioned this. Yeah, I did mention it. Never mind. It was with the ADHD conversation. Anyway, uh, again, it's really great to get to work with all these guys, and I did write thank you cards for like our instructors and whatnot. Basically, the people who volunteered their time. My band director gets a special card at the end of the year just because him being awesome. But he's not a stereotypical band director. Like he watches things that you wouldn't expect a teacher to watch. Anime, for example, I just find that really cool that he does that. He was able to connect with one of the big gamer guys in our band through that. So it's just really interesting to see a person, mid to late 30s being able to connect with, say, a 17-year-old. It's really, really um, awesome to see, honestly. He's just an awesome band director. Am I biased a little bit? Yeah, but I mean, he makes a personal effort, first of all, to not yell at us. He mentions that a lot, which it's definitely a big effort because we definitely deserve to be yelled at some points. Um, but just overall, he tries to be supportive of what we want to do rather than tell us what to do all the time. Now, there are some times where he has to say, you have to do this, and you can't really say no about it. There are times where that's necessary, especially if things have to get done a certain way, you know, which I'm perfectly fine with. Okay, so this is definitely coming along in an interesting way. We expanded this a little bit. Um, we then built up. I think what I'm going to end up doing is shooting lava, either lava or water, through these four openings. Because if you open this up, it goes down to grass. Oh, there's wood. Whoops. Um, but yeah, no. So there's monsters outside. Okay, I'm gonna stay inside. Good idea. All right. But yeah, no. Again, it's just been awesome doing this for so long, and I know that at some point, like if I have kids and they show musical interest and they want to do marching band, I'll be the first one to say heck yes, just because of how it helped me, and just because of how this is all that it did for me, honestly. I want them to have that sort of same experience. I know a lot of people that are in marching band feel the exact same way about their future kids as well. Some people are also planning not to have kids. Your prerogative. Kids can be a pain in the ass, but at the same time, I think it's a really rewarding experience. Obviously, I have no idea because I haven't raised a kid, but me personally, I think it's a really rewarding experience when you can have someone in the world that you built, not built, but like raised from the ground up. You help them sort of find their own way, but along those same lines, still guided them in the right direction every now and again. And I don't know, it would just be really awesome to do that, especially when I have people in my life who've already done that, parents. But also, um, teachers, volunteer teachers, other inspirational people. Because people inspire each other to do very great things. I mean, that's just sort of something that I've noticed over time. I was looking back through some old YouTube favorites and I found CinemaSins again. I just sort of watched his stuff. Um, it's basically about Harry Potter. And I thought back about how much I liked the Harry Potter series. And again, people inspiring others to be great. I mean, our original band director definitely inspired us to be great. There's no doubt in my mind of that. I am gonna miss it, honestly. Um, Hopefully I'll be able to do marching band in college. The college I want to go to definitely has it. Um, so that's good. But that'll be another 4 years and then it's done. Over. Finite. Unless, of course, I volunteer to help marching bands. But it's not the same. You know, it's not the same as doing it, honestly. And some of you might actually be wondering why I'm building this here. You must be like, oh, lava was so valuable when you were in the last video. Yeah, I've been doing some digging around. I'm going to show you guys what I found in a second. I think this is where it matches up. Yep. This actually has to go forward a few more blocks to like fully encase where the lava will be. I don't know why I'm encasing it like this. Maybe just to like try to stop the spread of the fire. But hopefully this works. But again, high school was an amazing experience, at least for me. But again, also, it's what you make it. I tell a lot of people, oh, high school was a great time. And they're like, no, it's absolutely terrible. Everyone hates me. A lot of people hate me too. um, but I sort of rose above that a little bit and built friendships outside of school, across the country in some cases, across the world in some cases. And those relationships have often been more rewarding than ones that I could ever obtain in school. Trying to figure out if I messed up here. Yep, I did. Not to say that the friends at school are meaningless. They're definitely not. In a lot of cases, but people can be hurtful. Um, and that's definitely been the way it's been for a long while, especially in my life. But again, Marching Band has helped with that. Marching Band has sort of been this family that I know that I have, and it's still stayed that way. Just it's changed a little bit. There's just this constant group of people that I can go to, and just genuinely enjoy being around. You know. I basically talked everybody's ears off about Marching Band now. I'll still be mentioning in future episodes. I just sort of wanted to make a marching band specific episode. I didn't talk about everything I thought I was going to talk about. You know, there's still a lot of experiences, a lot of people that I haven't even mentioned. So, and you know, some of those people, they know who they are, and some people watching know who I avoided mentioning. Just either out of respect for those people or because those people aren't exactly involved in my life as much as they used to be. You know, whatever the reason is. But let me go ahead and show off why I'm making this little feature. Let's just say I kind of went a little bit overboard with digging over the last few days, the little free time that I had, and this is becoming a little complex little network already. I was listening to the most recent podcast while I was doing this, Rooster Teeth podcast while I was doing this. It's pretty interesting what I found. And these things are crazy to deal with. I'm going to try to hide it. Just going to go up these stairs, and boom. Voice crack, boom. That's all that lava. And it all came from a huge, that used to be all lava. And then this is even more lava. And it just keeps stretching around here. You can see there's like hints of even more of it under those rocks. Under that stone. And I can go over here. And it's a cave. And I think I think I went the entire length of it. Not sure. I did. Okay. Yeah, I did. Let me go ahead and try to grab all the other rare minerals in here while I'm here. I was watching a... yeah, I'm going to mention that next time, actually. But, I've met a lot of cool people through launching me. I've been able to connect with a lot of amazing people. I definitely thank those people for being awesome. You know, I made thank you cards for people last year, simply to thank them for being awesome, for being themselves, and for being these great people that I can talk to every day. And that definitely applies to people I know now as well. You know, those specific people know who they are. People that I usually try and talk to almost every day, and people I just genuinely enjoy being around. You know. Dang it! Trying to get that last redstone, but I couldn't. But again, this lava pool is quite complicated because right behind there is a lot of lava. There's at least 5 or 6 sections worth. But yeah, no, that's why I'm making the lava feature. Is just sort of to be able to use up all of that. Because again, it's cool to store it, but it's also cool to use it. And of course, the Nether has an unlimited amount of lava. So I'm constantly trying to use it. I might just make a bunch of like lava features in the water. Because there's so much ocean. You know, we can check the map in a second. But there's just so much ocean around me. Like, where's the map? Right here? Look at that. That just blue splotch right under that arrow. That's me. Okay, like, That is what I could use all that lava for. Of course, there's always a lot of water in this game. That's just sort of a thing that happens now. But I'm actually withdraw this again. I hope you guys enjoyed watching episode 38 of Minecraft Let's Play series. I definitely enjoyed filming this one as well. It was nice to talk about band stuff again. Whichever way you look at it, it's been a big part of my life, and I hope that people out there, if you guys haven't started a musical instrument yet, you might want to. The high school that you're going to probably offers marching band. It's definitely a rewarding experience with a lot of people involved in it. Kind of weak on the college scholarship side, but that shouldn't be your only motivation in high school. Because if it is, you're going to miss a lot of opportunities outside of scholarships and whatnot. You're going to miss a lot of social opportunities. And I think I can talk about that in the next episode. But until then, let's stop.